Well, hello there, YouTube. This is Charlie Brawley coming back at you with another video. And this video is going to be about a lot of questions that I get through the email, and I appreciate all the emails and the phone calls and all those things. The last video that I put out, I kind of told you guys a little bit more about me and the reason why I'm here and all those things. Just to be transparent with you, as I mentioned in that video, I've always felt like, well, since I've really started this, I felt like it was a calling because we're seeing some numbers that it's amazing. That's the only thing I can say, and the process that's been given to me, it's almost divine. So I'm getting a lot of emails and stuff like that, and not everybody's able to afford it and all those things. However, hey, listen, or even make the whole program. It's not that, and I'm only looking for, like I said, 19. And I mean, when I say 19, I mean 19 consistent and solid, not 19 people, right? This is more of a long-term growth strategy for me and for my students, and the way that we go about it is through a process of growth, just like any business, any flower, tree, human being, or anything that will sustain itself. Everything that is worth anything has to have a growth process. And if you're not on some type of growth process in your playing, then you're literally just gambling. So you have to be on some kind of course, some type of chart, some type of measurable way of being able to achieve results, just like you would any business. So because of the way and the position that, I'm taking, obviously the emails are coming through, and I get a lot of emails with a lot of the questions that I'm going to try and answer here. I'm gonna try and be concise, but very thorough, as you guys know I am. So that said, let's just go ahead and get started. What do you get and guarantee with the mentorship program? Well, what you're going to get is a thorough understanding or a breakdown of the numbers. Right now, my top student is producing, he's at day 54, I think. He's only had 4 losses in 54 days. So from that perspective, you're going to learn how to be able to do that. So that's what you're going to get. Now, what's significant about that is the abilities. When you don't have a financial cap or a minimum cap per se, and you're able to always consistently win at the rate that he's winning, you will always be able to have more wins than losses. And because of that, and the consistency of it, or the abilities to be that consistent, gives him the abilities to make as much money as he wants with this. And the only reason he's able to do that is because it's a complete and deliberate breakdown of the numbers. You're going to have to go through training, though. All right? You're going to go through a training. So you're going to be trained through a series of videos, and of course you'll have myself and other students who are excelling and literally doing it the way that you'll have the best outcome and not really getting in your own way. A lot of people generally get in their own way, and when you get in your own way, you end up failing. Just that simple. So that's what you get, and the guarantee is that it works 100%. Ironclad that it works. The reason why you can beat the game of roulette playing permutations is because the game is limited. All right. So if I say that you can't beat it, you can't. The reason why is because it's limited, and because it's limited, it means that the only thing you have to have is patience. Right. The only thing that I'm saying that you can't beat is my method. Like, my method reduces your time significantly and gives you the abilities to increase your minimums as high as you want, because after 55, almost 60 days, we're at 94%. So we don't care about losing, because we're going to always be above and winning, always. All right. So can you do team play, and how would that work? Yeah, team play is something that once you get into the program, I was thinking about, I was at least thinking about doing team play before I started the mentorship program. The thing about it is, it's all about consistency. My whole quest and goal is to make enough money to change my life and my family's life. I need consistent people to do that with. It's just that simple. So the reason that I reduce team play to the most consistent group is because I want to continue to do it. We can do a whole lot more playing as a team than you do by yourself. The same hours you can make maybe 3 times. You might play 3 more hours more, but you'll make 3 times as much as you would have doing it alone for the same 3 hours. That's the beauty of team play. So yeah, but it's only limited to the mentorship program. I'm not doing anything beyond the mentorship program, to be honest. Speaking of which, people always ask too about the strategies. The strategies work, guys. It's not that the strategies don't work. It's just that to get to this place, like where the mentorship, the knowledge that comes in the mentorship program, it just takes time. And when you the time that it would normally take and the cost that you'd have to incur to get this knowledge will probably run you a whole lot more than it would if you just paid it and got it, because it's guaranteed to work. It's unequivocal. And so it's not, that's the reason why there's a cost. It's just you're reducing the time. And the cost, okay, so what is the cost of the mentorship program? The cost is $3,000 up front. If you don't have it all up front, I may be able to make an exception for you, but it's $3,000 up front, and it's 30% of your monthly pay. Now, I'm going to answer this question. How do you pay the 30%? So basically, because we've broken down the numbers, the only thing you have to do is just be consistent and do it, right? And you're going to always be able to increase your minimums the same way that my number one student is doing right now. I'm going to do an interview with him soon. When he hits 60 days, we're going to do an interview, and we're going to talk about exactly the simplicity of it, right? But anyway, the way he's paying me back is when he makes, say, $1,000. There's a time frame in which he knows in which he makes it. Say, for example, it took 1 week. Well, not even 1 week. Say $1,000. It took, as you break it down in hours. Let's say it took 1 hour, right? So it took 1 hour to make $1,000. Well, he's not going to pay me 30% of the $1,000. Okay, that's his money. He's going to pay me 30% of the time. The reason why we're breaking it down from a perspective of time is because of the numbers themselves, the way that the game is broken down in the mathematics of how we win. It all is relative to time. The biggest issue with people's strategy is that they don't know how to calculate time in the equation of the breakdown of permutations. Now, that may not make a lot of sense to a lot of people. I'll get it. But that's just the reason why we're having success. We broke it down in terms of time. So the payback is done in time. So instead of paying me 30% of the $1,000, you just have to pay me 15 minutes of time. The same bankroll you made 1,000, you're going to use the same bankroll to do 15 minutes of time for me. That's your payback. And roughly, you should be right at about the 30% mark in terms of time. I mean, the 30% of the $1,000. So basically, you probably will make about $300 in that time. Okay? So, is there a rescission? I think I meant to say rescission or right rescission. I think that's how it's spelled. Rescission period. So basically what this is saying is once you sign up, can you back out once you get information? No, you can't. You can quit, but you can't back out. Once you say yes, that's the reason why you have to sign it. That's the reason why I'm giving you the contract up front. I ask you questions so that when you sign it and you actually send your money, you've agreed. All right. The reason why there is no rescission period, particularly after you've gotten information, is because all the information I have is good. So there is no rescission period. And if you decide to rescind and try and get money back, it's almost like fraud on your behalf. Okay. So keep that in mind when you're doing something like this. This is any other business. Okay. This is not a product or type of service though. This is knowledge, and I can't take back the knowledge and repackage it. All right. How do you monitor to ensure we are on track with the program? All right. This question was a good question that one person had asked not too long ago. So he was wanting to know, like, if considering like, you may live on the other side of the world, how do I guarantee that you're on track and doing the right thing? Well, what's going to happen is that we're going to do a goals assessment. We're going to say, what is it that you want to achieve? And we're going to set a goal, and we're going to track the goal. And that is going to tell both of us where you are, okay, and exactly what you're doing. If the numbers don't ever change, so if we see that you're like 70% for whatever strange reason, then I will probably do a direct monitor with you, because the numbers never, ever change, right? You just have to just continue to do it. The numbers don't change. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. What if this does not work for me? Can I get I just think I answered that. No, you don't get the money back. If it doesn't work for you, why are you even on this channel? Go get a job. Go start a business. All right. I guarantee what I'm talking about. I understand what I'm doing. I know how to break down math and numbers and time. All right. It's being proven. So if this doesn't suit you, there's other things you can do for money. All right. I'm just telling you that whatever you do for money, it's all a risk. You just may take really, really low risk. And your really, really low risk yields a very, very low return. Now, the thing about risk is, how do you reduce risk so that you have the maximum return? That's where the risk comes in humans. It comes in me and you, people lying, people stealing. Those are called liabilities. The moment you get rid of stuff like that, AI, for example, artificial intelligence, the moment you get rid of the humans, you can make more money. So as horrible as that sounds, but I think you guys get my point. My point is that with roulette, when you are able to make a financial decision every 45 seconds, therein lies variables. What creates the variables that allows you to make a financial decision on money every 45 seconds? The game of roulette has 36 variables, including the zeros and the double zeros. So you could say 36, 7, 38 variables. And they run every 45 seconds. So then, because there's a limited amount of variables, there is this thing called a permutation, which means it's a pattern. So these patterns occur, and they are very, very limited, very limited. So then when you understand those limitations, you then can make a calculus on return. For example, we have a 93% calculus in a 54-day trial period, which means in 54 days, the game of roulette could not do anything to keep us from making as much as we wanted, because we have a 93% advantage. That's the difference and we have no financial cap. That's the difference in you going to get a job, you starting a business that has in 10 years, you have a 90% chance of failure in 10 years, which means that 10% that makes it, you know the names of those 10%? They're called Walmart. They're called Apple. They're called IBM. They're called Hewlett Packard. They're called Target. All those large corporations, those are the ones that make that 10%. Unless you're a mom and pop, and even mom and pops have a hard time now because of Walmart. So you have the game that you're playing in the financial world is really, really bad for us. So you got to think beyond it. You got to understand, you got to, you got to go to the casino. It's crazy to think that way, but it's from a conventional perspective because it's not being sold to us that way. It's always, what's being sold to us is to go get a job or go to work. And the reason that is because the banks win when we do it. All right. When you go get a job, you're going to go get a car because you got to get back and forth. So we're going to charge you interest there. Well, you're going to get a house or you're going to have rent. So you're going to have insurance and all those things. So you're going to be paying a consistent something to some bank all the time. You're never going to be financially free because you don't have the time. Right. So you're going to always incur the bills and the debt. Same thing happens when you have a business. The banks win. So they don't tell you that you should go to a casino to delineate the risk. They tell you that there's more risk because of the time that it takes you to win. You can win every 45 seconds. It's a dopamine effect. It's a psychological ploy on your bank account and your mind. So anyway, that's the reason why I say there is no money back guarantee. I mean, there is no money back once you quit. If it doesn't work for you, just go do something else. But don't waste your time here if you don't understand what I just mentioned, because this is not going to resonate with everyone. Also, too, let me say this. If you're hungry and thirsty for money, this is not for you either. If you're thirsty and you need to, hey, man, my back is against the wall. I'm $100,000 in debt and I need to get out of this debt or else I'm going to lose everything. This is not for you. This is not for you at all. Okay. So don't do it. Don't come. And that's one of the reasons why I charge. I don't need that. My program is not even designed for people like that. It's not going to work for you. All right. Can you show me how it works before I join? No. Pretty simple. It's knowledge, so I can't share the knowledge with you before. And I've actually had people ask me this question. No, I can't. How does your training work? It's basically going to be like this. Once you join, you're going to go through about 2 weeks of training. There's going to be a series of videos that you're going to get up front. What you're going to do is you're going to go through them to learn the nuances. Now, it's going to sound like I'm talking to you directly, but I'm not. All right. So you just need to go through, eat the meat, spit out the bones. There's a lot of meat in there. Okay. But there is an introduction video that talks about all that, and you'll get all that before you get started. Oh, let's see. You mentioned operating it like a business. How does that work? Operating it like a business means, for example, I had one student that within 2 days had blew his bankroll. And so he came to me and said, hey, this doesn't work because I blew my bankroll. And I'm like, well, let me ask you this question. If you went to a bank rather, you asked them for a loan. They gave you the loan to open up your business. But within 2 days, you spent all the money. Is it that you had a bad business concept, or is it what was it that caused you to blow all the money in 2 days? It wasn't the business concept. It was you that did that. It was this gambling mentality that for whatever reason you thought that if I put all this money into a television commercial, that customers were going to flood the gates the next day. That's called taking big risk and gambling in business. The reason why we treat it like a business, a successful one, because you wouldn't dare do that if you're trying to sustain a business. So I implement a lot of growth measures as we grow this like a business to keep you safe and to always be in the top brass of winning percentages. But we're going to treat it like a business. We're going to grow it. And we're not going to just go out here and try and gamble it all within a day. Okay, that mentality will forever keep you broke. You're going to lose in everything you do with that type of mentality. So whether you do this or you get a job, you may not keep the job long with that type of mentality. You've got to grow. You've got to be willing to grow. Okay. All right. While I'm sure you can't win all the time, how do you lose? How often, and how can one empty their bankrolls? Being ignorant, it's how you empty your bankroll. How often are you ignorant? Well, that's your choice. Uh, how do you lose? Well, that the thing is, I can't tell you exactly how it works. Only thing I could say is that in 54 days, we're at a 93%. We only lost 4 days out of the 54. So that's the only thing I can tell you. So we're like 2,000 or something percent on our money. It's like we're all the way up. So we're doing really good. So you can lose. I mean, it's just like anything. You're not going to play any game of life. Everything's not going to go your way in this game or the world itself. The difference, however, is that 93% of the time it does. And anything else that we probably do, you're going to be reduced to maybe less than 50-50 shot, right? There is a 50-50 chance that you might retire with the company you work for. Maybe higher, depends on how long you've been there. But your odds are not really that good. You don't have a 93% chance on your money, especially with the abilities to raise your minimums in terms of investment, and there's no cap on it. Where is that happening at? So this is what we're offering. No, this is not going to go on for long. Once I get my team, I will be off the internet. So I wanted to put this out because, again, I had a lot of questions from a lot of people. And so instead of just always emailing all the time, I just figured I'd just do this video. All right, guys, thank you again so much for the newer students who have come in, and they're diligent and they're doing the right things. It really, to see this actually taking the shape that it's taken, given the negativity, I'll take it. It's okay. Because, like I said before, I don't know if you guys heard me say this on the video, but there was a Down syndrome kid who saved my life. I was in a real dark place at one point. And this Down syndrome kid, long story short, he saved my life, and he just really put me on the right track. Well, I remember looking at a video on YouTube of a Down syndrome child who was playing a violin, and he was playing the hell out of it. Like, it really was good. Like, he was trained very, very well, but he was Down syndrome. And don't you know that there were at least 30 dislikes? So I'm like, okay, if you can dislike that, I will forever have haters doing this. Okay. So I'm okay with it, so I'm not closing down the comments. Say whatever you're going to say. It's okay. All right. Because we have proof in our pudding. All right. So with that said, guys, thank you guys so much for keeping keep in touch. The numbers game is still cool. People still make a lot of money with that. If you're interested in that, it's $25 a number. The bundle package is still amazing. Everybody that need mentorship program, by the way. See, that's another thing. Everyone's not going to do it, but everybody doesn't have to do it. Some people got a lot of time on their hands and they can study the hell out of this. And they kind of have an idea of how to study it. There are people like that. The only thing that I do with this is just reduce your time. That's it. You're just paying a little bit premium for an amazing amount of time reduction and potentially a lot of money saved. That's what this is about. But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it. So the bundle package is still available for those who want that. Any of the strategies are still available. Once I get close to closing down, I don't know exactly when that will be. Of course, I'll do some type of discount thing at that point. But I just don't know when it is. However, today is the moment to, seize opportunity. So if there's something you want, that can make you still a good deal with the bundle and even the numbers. Just send me an email, permutationspro@gmail.com. If you want any of the strategies, just send me an email first. All right. And, don't buy it online. All right. Just send me an email first, permutationspro@gmail.com. If you want to talk to me, you can call me at the 800 number, 855 something something. Just go to permutationspro.com and the 800 numbers there. So you can get in contact with me directly there. For the most part, I'm kind of busy. So if I don't pick up right away, leave a message, and I'll try and get back with you. So just do that. And but I am, I'm off and running around. Like I said, I just made a big move, biggest move of my life, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So I've been busy, just trying to get acclimated to everything, and so yeah, and then getting my students and everybody on track and intact. All right. So with that said, guys, if you have any questions, give me a call or shoot me an email. To the next time, take care of yourself. Well, I guess you noticed that there was a couple questions that I missed. I want to actually go through that and make sure I cover it because they're actually pretty good questions. How much money do I need to get started? Now, that's a really good question. It will be based upon it's as little as $500. I put it that way, but it can be based upon your knowledge. So once you grow your bankroll, or you could always increase the goals because we're going to have goals. So the money to get started could be as little as $500. And how long does it take to start making money? Well, you're going to be making money starting out. It's just that you're not going to be making a whole lot of money starting out. You're not going to go right. You're not going to be gambling. Okay. We're going to always play at the highest percentages, and we're going to do it consistently. And as we do that consistently, we'll always have those high profit margins, or profit, I guess you can call them margins, at 93%. So having it that high and being that consistent allows us to increase our minimums as high as we want. It's just all about understanding the numbers. So that's the whole point of the mentorship program. And but you're going to have a goal. So, the moment, we start setting sail on the goal, you'll see that you'll be making money immediately, but to the point where you'll start. You could always take your money out. Like that's not the issue. It's just that you want to use that money to compound it. All right, because you still want to keep in your goal, and when we're setting goal, you'll set a percentage that you could actually take out, and a percentage that you'll still be able to play with. But you'll hit that point after you've made so much money. Okay. Everything's a growth process. So that's one of the things about it, is that to get when you're getting at this point, your patience in terms of growing your business is going to have to be there. Because if you started a business, you're going to have to, every day you're going to have to work at it. If you got a job, every day you're going to have to go there. If you want to make a lot of money at 93% on return without any financial caps, every day you're going to have to work at it. It's no different. Okay. Well, anyway, so I'm not going to go too much further than that. Again, thank you guys for your time. If you have any questions, send me an email, permutationspro@gmail.com, or call me at the 800 number listed on permutationspro.com. Till the next time, take care.